In the inshore fishing world, it is well known that an artificial shrimp lure is one of the best lures to use to catch fish. However, if you don't know how to retrieve it properly, then the chances of you catching fish with it is cut down significantly. In this video, I'm going to show you the two best retrieves that I use in order to catch fish. The first one is going to be the retrieve that I use to put the most amount of fish in the boat, and the second one is going to be the retrieve that I use to catch the biggest fish to date that I have on artificial lures. Now let's go right to the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cast it straight on out, and then I'm going to let it sink to the bottom. I want it to touch the bottom because the type of fish that we're after, flounder, redfish, they're going to be bottom feeders. So after it sinks to the bottom, I'm going to close my bail. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give it a couple of twitches just like this. And the reason why I'm going to do that is it's going to imitate that shrimp. But also what I'm going to do is when I get to the top of my twitches, I'm going to keep my rod tip high, and I'm going to keep my line having what they call a semi-slack. It's not going to be taut because we're dealing with a lightweight. But what that's going to do is that is going to allow the bait, the shrimp, to actually glide forward instead of just falling straight down to the bottom. I'll have that extra glide so you can cover a little bit more ground a little bit quicker that way. And you know, just a couple little pops, let it sink to the bottom, reel in your slack, couple little pops, let it sink to the bottom, then reel in your slack. And you can repeat that all the way back to the boat. Now, the severity or the intensity of these pops and the length of the pauses are going to be dependent on the mood of the fish. If the fish are not in a very good feeding mood, if they're just kind of laid up and they're in a, you know, kind of a neutral mood, I'm going to make less aggressive pops, and then I'm going to have longer pauses in between the two. Now, if they're actively feeding and I'm really trying to cover some ground, then I'm actually going to give it some pops like this, and then, you know, give it just enough time to sink to the bottom depending on the water depth that I'm fishing at. So I will pick up the pace, and then I'll make the adjustment from there depending on what the fish are telling me and what they want. So that's most of the time how I'm going to fish an artificial shrimp, how I'm going to retrieve an artificial shrimp. And before we get into the second part of the video, I just want to let you know that this is brought to you by the Insider Club at saltstrong.com. If you are struggling on catching inshore fish and you want to up your game, come join us at Saltstrong. We can give you the information. Just to let you know, before I was a coach at Saltstrong, I was just like a lot of you where I was struggling on catching fish. I became a member with Saltstrong. I took all the information. I was able to become a better fisherman, and now I'm somebody that teaches people how to catch fish for a living. We can give you the same type of information. So if you want to up your game, definitely check us out in the community. And right now we have a special offer for just $10 a month. We will give you access to everything we have to offer. We will give you access to the community, the Smart Fishing Spots app, the deals on the tackle, and also all the educational videos that's going to help you up your game. So for more information on that special offer, the link is going to be in the details below. Now back to the video. So another thing that I want to show you, another retrieve, my second retrieve that I want to show you, is going to be if I see a tailing fish or if I see a fish cruising a shoreline and I'm wanting to intercept that fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the lure out, and I'm going to put it, you know, just out on the farther side of the fish. So if the fish is moving along this way, I'm going to place my cast right over here behind the fish and in front of the fish. So as I'm working my lure, the fish is going to intercept it. That's the goal of that. You don't want to put it directly in front of them, because if you put it right in front of their, you know, their eyesight, it might spook them a little bit. So you want to go behind, and then you'll drag the lure in front. And that's exactly what I'm going to do when I'm fishing for sight casting fish. When I physically see the fish, I'm actually just going to slowly drag the lure. I'm just going to drag it just like this, just at a slow speed, and then I'll stop it. Then I'll pick it up, and then I'll drag it just a little bit more, and then I'll stop it. The idea of that is you want the fish to find the lure. You don't want to necessarily bring the lure to the fish, because that's not a natural presentation for shrimp. Shrimp don't dive at their predators. They're not going to dive at the things that are going to eat them. But if they're just dragging right on the bottom or crawling right on the bottom, it might appear as if they're not aware that that fish is around. So that's why we want to drag it right along the bottom and kill it. And then hopefully, you know, if the timing works out with the speed of the fish and where the shrimp is, you'll be right in front of the fish, you know, maybe 2 or 3 feet in front of the fish right as it crosses its path. So that's what I do when I'm fishing for sight casted to fish. And to put it all together, here is a video of me using that second retrieve to sight cast to this really nice redfish. There we go. This is a good fish. Oh, that was so cool. All I did was I lead him like I did with the other one. Come on. Come on. Put a little heat on him here. See if I can get him in the net. Oh yeah. And remember, for that special offer to join the Insider community, make sure and check out that link in the details.